In the shadows of medieval Europe, where the lines between myth and history blur, there lived a man whose name became synonymous with horror, Vlad the Impaler. Known to Romanians as Vlad Tepes, and to the world as the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula, his legacy is one of blood, cruelty, and vengeance. But was he truly the monster legends have made him out to be? Or was he a ruler fighting against overwhelming odds, using terror as a weapon of war? In this documentary, we uncover the real story of Vlad the Impaler. We journey through the Carpathian Mountains, medieval battlefields, and ancient texts to reveal how one man's brutal reign changed the course of history and birthed one of the most terrifying characters in modern folklore. The birth of a warrior prince. Vlad III was born in 1431 in the fortress town of Sighișoara, in what is now Romania. His father, Vlad II Dracula, was a member of the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order founded to defend Christianity in Eastern Europe. The name Dracula means the dragon, and Vlad would later become known as Dracula, son of the dragon. From a young age, Vlad's life was steeped in political intrigue and danger. At just 11 years old, he and his younger brother Radu were taken as political hostages by the Ottoman Empire. While in captivity, Vlad learned about the enemy he would one day fight, while Radu was seduced by Ottoman culture, even converting to Islam. This experience would divide the brothers and shape Vlad's ruthless determination to reclaim his homeland, Wallachia, a land of blood and betrayal. Wallachia, Vlad's homeland, was a battleground between empires, caught between the Ottomans to the south and the Hungarians to the north. Its rulers often changed due to betrayal, war, or assassination. When Vlad finally seized the throne of Wallachia in 1556, he inherited a land in chaos. Corruption was rampant, the nobility was divided, and enemies waited at every border. Vlad knew that to secure power, he had to instill fear within and without. Thus began one of the most violent reigns in medieval history, the art of impalement. Vlad earned his infamous nickname through a method of execution he perfected: impalement. Victims were mounted on wooden stakes driven through their bodies, sometimes entering through the rectum and emerging through the mouth or shoulders. Death was slow, painful, and meant to send a message. This wasn't just cruelty for cruelty's sake, it was psychological warfare. Vlad used impalement not only against his enemies, but also against criminals, traitors, and corrupt officials. He created forests of the impaled, lining roads and city gates with thousands of bodies. One Ottoman envoy reported seeing 20,000 corpses outside Vlad's capital of Târgoviște. When Sultan Mehmed II himself approached the city, the sight was so horrifying that he turned back. To Vlad, fear was a weapon as powerful as any sword. The Ottoman Wars. Vlad's greatest struggle was against the Ottoman Empire, the most powerful force of the time. Refusing to pay tribute, Vlad launched a brutal campaign against Ottoman forces. One bird. He used guerrilla tactics, scorched earth strategies, and psychological warfare. In one famous episode, he poisoned wells, burned villages, and unleashed night attacks, so devastating that Ottoman forces were thrown into chaos. His most infamous victory was the night attack at Târgoviște in 1462, where he nearly assassinated Sultan Mehmed II himself. The Ottomans withdrew, leaving behind stories of terror and impalement. Vlad was hailed in parts of Europe as a hero who had stood against the Islamic Empire, though his methods were too gruesome for many to celebrate publicly. Enemies at home. Though feared by his enemies, Vlad's greatest threats came from within. The boyars, Wallachian nobles, resented his iron-fisted rule. He punished disloyalty mercilessly, often inviting nobles to banquets only to have them executed en masse. Eventually, Vlad was betrayed and imprisoned by the Hungarian king, Matthias Corvinus, in 1462. He spent over a decade in captivity, during which time his legend grew. After his release, Vlad gained a throne briefly in 1476, but his enemies were waiting. He was ambushed and killed in battle. His head was sent to the Ottoman Sultan as a trophy. His body was buried in an unmarked grave, its location still unknown. Legacy: Dracula and beyond. Centuries later, Bram Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula would turn Vlad into a vampire of legend. But the real Vlad was far more terrifying than any fictional count. In Romania, he's remembered not as a monster, but as a national hero who resisted foreign domination and brought order to chaos. Tourists now visit Bran Castle, erroneously called Dracula's castle, drawn by the myth, but leaving with fragments of a darker truth. Vlad the Impaler was a man shaped by betrayal, war, and survival. He ruled not with mercy, but with terror. And in doing so, he carved his name into the blood-soaked history of Europe. Conclusion: was he a monster or a martyr? So was Vlad the Impaler a sadistic tyrant, or a misunderstood ruler using horror as a weapon to preserve his people? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. In a time when chaos reigned and loyalty was rare, Vlad chose fear as his ally. He became a symbol of justice to some and a nightmare to others. What remains undeniable is his impact on history, culture, and the imagination of the world. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Before Time New for more stories of forgotten empires, ruthless rulers, and the dark truths that shaped our world.